Hessdalen Light Phenomenon. In the remote, tranquil valleys of central Norway, a mysterious phenomenon occurs, one that defies conventional understanding and eludes scientific explanation. It's called the Hessdalen Light Phenomenon, and despite decades of observation and research, it remains one of the most baffling and unexplainable mysteries in the world of physics. Since the early 1980s, residents of the Hessdalen Valley have been witnessing strange, glowing orbs of light appearing in the sky. These lights are unpredictable, sometimes hovering motionless for extended periods, while other times, they move swiftly across the sky at speeds that challenge our current understanding of physics. They can change colors, shift shapes, and even pulse with an eerie intensity. Some are bright and white, others are red, yellow, or blue, and they seem to react to their surroundings in ways that cannot be explained by any known natural or technological causes. What makes this phenomenon even more baffling is the fact that it appears consistently in the same region, Hessdalen. For over 40 years, these lights have made their presence known, sometimes with a faint glow in the distance, other times with an incredible display of brightness. Scientists have attempted to study these lights extensively, but every answer only leads to more questions. The valley is now home to a dedicated research project, Project Hessdalen, aimed at understanding what is happening. But despite all their efforts, the lights still resist explanation. The mystery lies not just in their appearance, but in their behavior. For example, the lights often seem to exhibit a strange form of intelligence. Some witnesses report that the lights will follow them as they move through the valley, while others have noted that they appear to respond to the presence of people or vehicles. One of the most puzzling aspects of the lights is their ability to hover silently in place, and then, without warning, shoot across the sky at incredible speeds that defy the laws of aerodynamics. Attempts to attribute the phenomenon to conventional explanations have been met with skepticism. Some scientists have suggested that the lights could be caused by natural phenomena such as ball lightning or plasma discharges. Others believe they might be linked to the geological properties of the area, with certain minerals or underground processes triggering the lights. However, these theories do not fully account for the strange behaviors and consistency of the lights. One hypothesis is that the lights are somehow related to the piezoelectric effect, in which pressure on certain types of crystals, such as quartz, can generate electrical charges. But even this explanation leaves much to be desired, as it fails to account for the light's varied shapes, movements, and reactions to observers. In addition to the scientific theories, there are more unconventional ideas. Some suggest that the lights are manifestations of energy from another dimension, or perhaps even extraterrestrial in origin. The idea that these lights could be a form of intelligent life or a signal from the unknown is one that has captured the imagination of many. Could it be possible that these lights are not just a natural phenomenon but a message, a warning, or an invitation? Local residents are no longer as startled by the lights as they once were. In fact, many have become quite accustomed to their regular appearances. Some claim that the lights seem to have a calming influence, while others describe a feeling of unease or being watched. There are even reports of the lights appearing to move in coordination with people's movements, almost as if they're aware of their presence. It's as though the lights are not just random flashes of energy, but something more, a presence, a consciousness, or a mysterious force. Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of the Hessdalen lights is the sense of mystery that surrounds them. Despite years of study and data collection, no one has been able to definitively explain their origin or purpose. The lights persist, quietly illuminating the valley and leaving us to wonder, are they simply a natural anomaly we haven't yet understood? Or do they represent something far more profound and mysterious, waiting for us to uncover? One thing is certain, the Hessdalen lights continue to fascinate and perplex those who venture into the valley to witness them. Whether they are a product of Earth's natural forces or a clue to a deeper, hidden reality, the phenomenon remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of modern science. The hum phenomenon. The hum is one of the most perplexing and widespread unexplained phenomena in the world, a phenomenon that continues to baffle both researchers and those who experience it. This strange and unsettling low-frequency hum is heard by a select group of people in specific locations, and yet, many others are unable to hear anything at all. It's often described as a constant, droning sound, likened to the hum of an idling diesel engine, a distant thunderstorm, or a ringing in the ears, yet those who hear it are certain it's an external noise. The hum is generally reported in quiet, rural areas, especially at night, when there is less ambient noise to mask it. While it seems to have no apparent source, those who experience it claim it can be heard indoors and outdoors, at any time of day or night. The most fascinating aspect of this phenomenon is that it affects only certain people, often leaving large groups of people in the same area unaffected. The sound seems to come from nowhere, often with no obvious pattern or consistency. Some studies suggest that the hum may be a form of infrasound, a frequency that's lower than what the human ear typically detects. Infrasound can be produced by natural events like earthquakes, storms, or even ocean waves, but it can also be generated by human-made structures, including industrial machinery, power lines, and even car engines. However, studies on infrasound haven't provided conclusive evidence to fully explain the phenomenon. In fact, researchers have found that the levels of infrasound in the places where the hum occurs are often too low to be detected by most human ears. Another theory is that the hum could be linked to environmental conditions, such as electromagnetic fields produced by technology like cell towers, power lines, or Wi-Fi. These electromagnetic fields could interact with the human body in ways that trigger auditory hallucinations or altered perceptions. There have been reports that some people who hear the hum live near areas with high electromagnetic activity, adding some weight to this theory, but no definitive proof has been found. There are also psychological and physiological explanations for the hum. Some researchers have proposed that it could be a form of tinnitus, a condition in which people hear ringing or buzzing sounds in their ears, which could be mistaken for an external hum. However, people with tinnitus typically hear a higher-pitched sound, and the areas affected by the hum don't always correspond with known cases of tinnitus. The experience of hearing the hum can be distressing. Sufferers report sleep disturbances, anxiety, headaches, and even a sense of dizziness. The sound is often described as invasive and unrelenting, becoming a constant background presence in daily life. Those who experience it are often frustrated because they can't find a solution, and when they search for answers, they find little more than speculation and inconclusive studies. The hum has been documented in multiple locations worldwide, including the United States, the UK, Canada, and New Zealand, but there are no clear patterns as to why it occurs in specific places. In fact, the hum has been reported in densely populated urban areas, as well as in quiet, remote rural regions. Some of the most well-known occurrences include the Taos hum in New Mexico, the Windsor hum in Ontario, and the Bristol hum in the UK, but researchers have yet to find any common link between these locations, despite the similarity in the symptoms described by those who hear it. Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of the hum is that it's often difficult to explain to those who don't experience it. Those who suffer from it often feel isolated, as many people dismiss the phenomenon as a mental condition or an overactive imagination. The fact that only certain individuals hear the sound, and that there's no obvious cause, leaves many people feeling like they're trapped in a strange, inexplicable phenomenon with no solution in sight. While the hum remains unexplained, it continues to be a subject of study and fascination. Whether it's a result of natural phenomena, human-made technology, or something more mysterious, the hum remains one of the most intriguing unsolved mysteries of modern times. For those who hear it, the question remains, is there something more to this phenomenon, or is it simply a peculiar auditory illusion? Ball lightning phenomenon. Ball lightning is one of the most enigmatic and captivating phenomena that occurs in nature, often described as a glowing, spherical mass of light that appears during thunderstorms. Witnesses report seeing these luminous balls float through the air, ranging in size from a few centimeters to the size of a basketball, and moving unpredictably, defying the normal behavior of typical lightning strikes. Unlike traditional lightning, which lasts only a fraction of a second, ball lightning can persist for several seconds or even minutes, adding to its mystique. The orb-like phenomenon has been described in a variety of colors, including white, blue, red, and even green, and can appear to hover, drift, or move erratically through the sky or indoors, seemingly unaffected by gravity or other environmental forces. What makes ball lightning especially fascinating is its ability to interact with its surroundings. People have reported the phenomenon passing through walls, windows, and other barriers without any apparent damage, as well as the intense and sudden bursts of light and sound that often occur when the ball dissipates. The ball sometimes explodes with a violent flash or emits a loud bang, leaving behind a lingering smell of sulfur, which adds to its mystery and the feeling of unease that many experience when witnessing it. Some reports even claim that ball lightning causes damage to electrical equipment or leaves scorch marks in the areas it passes through, further deepening the intrigue surrounding the phenomenon. Over the years, many theories have been proposed to explain ball lightning, but none have been able to offer a comprehensive and universally accepted explanation. One of the most widely discussed theories is that ball lightning is a type of plasma, a state of matter in which electrons and ions exist in a highly energetic state. Plasma can be electrically charged and has the ability to form glowing, stable structures that could explain the spherical shape and extended duration of ball lightning. According to this theory, magnetic fields could play a role in shaping and stabilizing the plasma, allowing it to maintain its form and movement over time. Another theory is that ball lightning could be a result of an electrical phenomenon that occurs in thunderstorms, where a buildup of electrical charges in the atmosphere creates a plasma ball. Some have even speculated that ball lightning may be linked to other phenomena, such as the discharge of electrical fields or the interaction of specific atmospheric gases under particular conditions. However, despite all these theories, the exact cause of ball lightning remains elusive. Attempts to replicate it in controlled environments have been unsuccessful, and most documented cases of the phenomenon occur unexpectedly, making it incredibly difficult to study. Many scientists are still intrigued by ball lightning, as it could potentially hold the key to understanding new aspects of electrical energy, plasma physics, and atmospheric conditions. Theories about ball lightning also highlight the possibility that there may be forms of energy or matter that are not yet understood or discovered by current scientific paradigms. The challenge of studying ball lightning is compounded by its rarity and unpredictable nature, with most sightings occurring only during thunderstorms and in specific geographic areas. The phenomenon's elusive nature has led to numerous debates within the scientific community about whether ball lightning could be a manifestation of unknown physics, or if it's simply a rare and poorly understood occurrence of atmospheric electricity. Some suggest that the phenomenon may involve a kind of quantum effect, allowing for the creation of matter that seems to defy normal physical laws. Could ball lightning represent a unique interaction between electromagnetic fields and quantum mechanics? Could it be a natural phenomenon with properties that have yet to be fully discovered? Ball lightning remains a subject of ongoing fascination for both scientists and the general public, who continue to share their accounts of encountering this strange phenomenon. While it's clear that the scientific community still has a long way to go in unraveling the mysteries of ball lightning, its captivating and otherworldly presence in the skies continues to spark curiosity and wonder. Gravity Hill Phenomenon. Gravity Hill is a captivating and perplexing phenomenon where vehicles, seemingly defying the laws of physics, appear to roll uphill against gravity. This optical illusion occurs in specific locations around the world, where objects and even cars seem to move upward on a slope, appearing to defy the pull of gravity. It is most often observed in areas with steep terrain or hills that create visual cues which lead the observer to believe that the slope is much steeper than it actually is. When parked on these hills, cars appear to move on their own, slowly creeping uphill, giving the illusion that gravity is reversed. In some cases, even people walking along the hill appear to be climbing uphill effortlessly, adding to the eerie nature of the phenomenon. The most well-known gravity hill phenomena occur in various locations across the globe, from the United States to India and even to Australia. One famous example is the magnetic hill in Leh, India, where vehicles are seen seemingly rolling uphill without any visible force. Similarly, in the United States, Gravity Hill in Pennsylvania offers visitors the strange experience of watching cars roll uphill as they remain in neutral. Even though the incline is supposed to pull them downward, the illusion can be so convincing that people have speculated for years about the cause of this strange occurrence. Some early theories suggest that the effect is caused by unusual gravitational forces or magnetic fields, leading to the belief that the area is affected by some kind of magnetic anomaly. People have imagined that the forces of gravity could somehow be reversed in these locations, explaining the movement of objects in opposition to the normal pull of gravity. However, after much investigation, scientists have debunked these theories and attribute the phenomenon to the landscape's optical illusion rather than a supernatural or gravitational force. The true explanation of Gravity Hill lies in the way the brain interprets the surrounding landscape. The hill is usually situated in a location where the horizon and natural surroundings create the illusion of a downward slope, even though the actual incline is very minimal. When you park a car on a surface that appears to be level but is actually a slight decline, the landscape around you may mislead your senses. The lack of reference points, such as nearby trees, buildings, or mountains, can create a perception that objects are moving uphill when, in fact, they are simply rolling along a slight downward slope. The optical illusion is amplified by the surrounding terrain, which may have deceptive contours that mislead the eye into believing there is an uphill slope where none exists. Another important factor that plays into the illusion is the way the human eye interprets straight lines. On a slight downhill slope, the angle of the incline might not be immediately obvious, but the eye registers the scene in a way that makes it seem as though the ground is flat or even tilted upward. Without clear reference points, your brain may interpret the slope as an uphill incline, and thus it misguides you into thinking that vehicles and objects are moving in the opposite direction of gravity. Essentially, the landscape's features, such as the surrounding hills and trees, create a distorted sense of perspective that fools the observer into perceiving an uphill movement when, in reality, it is simply a gentle downhill slope. In some cases, the magnetic qualities of these hills are simply due to the presence of unusual terrain or natural features that affect the perception of magnetic forces. While there are locations where strong magnetic fields are known to exist, there is no scientific evidence linking these forces to the Gravity Hill phenomenon. Rather, the combination of optical illusions and environmental factors creates the illusion of an unnatural gravitational force. The Gravity Hill phenomenon is not only a fascinating scientific curiosity, but it also plays into the cultural and supernatural imagination of people around the world. Visitors often come to these locations seeking to experience the strange and mysterious sensation of watching objects seemingly defy gravity, and many are left wondering whether there's more to the phenomenon than meets the eye. In reality, Gravity Hill remains a testament to the power of perception and how easily our senses can be tricked by natural optical illusions. Floating Island Phenomenon. The floating island phenomenon is a mesmerizing and enigmatic natural occurrence, where islands seem to float on water, defying the laws of gravity. While this might sound like something straight out of a fantasy novel, such islands can actually be observed in different parts of the world, creating a captivating visual effect. Whether they're man-made or naturally occurring, the phenomenon continues to baffle observers and spark intrigue. So, what exactly causes this peculiar illusion, and is it truly supernatural? One of the most famous examples of floating islands occurs in Lake Titicaca, situated between Peru and Bolivia in the Andes Mountains. Here, the Uros people have long constructed floating islands using reeds from the lake's marshy areas. These islands, called Uros, are entirely buoyant and can float freely on the water. The construction process involves weaving thick layers of tatora reeds, which have strong buoyant properties. These islands have been the home to the Uros people for centuries and continue to serve as their shelter. The unique culture and lifestyle of the Uros people make these floating islands even more fascinating. Despite being man-made, the floating islands of Lake Titicaca have inspired much speculation about the origins of floating land masses in general. But what about naturally occurring floating islands? These too exist, often in remote, swampy regions of the world. In places like the Everglades in Florida, large mats of vegetation form on the surface of slow-moving or stagnant water. Over time, the mats grow thick enough to support plants, trees, and even small animals. These mats are composed of decaying plant matter, making them buoyant. The dense mats can move with water currents, shifting across the surface of lakes, rivers, and swamps. The larger the mat, the more it resembles a floating island. The most fascinating aspect of these floating islands is their unpredictable movement. They can drift for miles, and their composition can vary dramatically depending on the environment. Some floaters are just a thin layer of grass and reeds, while others have thick vegetation capable of supporting entire ecosystems. The floating islands in places like the Everglades have been known to shift locations, covering vast distances over time, but why do they float in the first place? The key lies in the buoyancy of the organic materials that form these floating masses. Plants like grasses, reeds, and algae have natural buoyant properties, allowing them to float on water. When these plants die and decompose, their organic matter becomes a spongy, buoyant material. Over time, as more layers accumulate, a floating island forms. However, the exact conditions needed for these islands to grow and remain afloat are still not fully understood, making them a subject of ongoing scientific research. Floating islands have also captured the imagination of storytellers for centuries. They appear in numerous mythologies, often seen as mystical realms or sanctuaries. In Greek mythology, for example, the gods were believed to reside on floating islands that hovered above the earth. In other cultures, floating islands are places of hidden wisdom or divine power, visited only by the worthy. These ideas have permeated literature and movies, with floating islands often depicted as mystical havens, where reality bends and fantastical creatures roam. In modern science fiction, floating islands remain a recurring theme, symbolizing a break from the mundane. They serve as metaphors for freedom, isolation, and escape from the constraints of the world. Whether in films, books, or video games, these floating masses continue to inspire awe and wonder. From a scientific standpoint, they highlight the unique ways nature can surprise us with its oddities. From a cultural perspective, they invite us to explore the boundaries between myth and reality. Earthquake light phenomenon. The earthquake light phenomenon is a rare and mysterious occurrence that has baffled scientists and observers for centuries. These strange lights appear in the sky before, during, or after seismic activity, often associated with earthquakes. The lights can take various forms, such as glowing orbs, streaks, or flashes, and are usually seen in areas prone to significant tectonic activity. Although earthquake lights have been recorded throughout history, they remain one of the least understood natural phenomena in the field of geophysics. While earthquake lights are often described as blue or white, their intensity and color can vary depending on the location and the seismic event. Some witnesses report seeing bright flashes in the sky, while others describe the lights as glowing balls that float above the ground. These lights can last anywhere from a few seconds to several minutes, and their appearance is often unpredictable, making it difficult for scientists to study them effectively. The phenomenon was first documented in the 16th century, when observers in Italy reported seeing glowing lights during a series of earthquakes. However, it wasn't until the 20th century that earthquake lights gained significant scientific attention. In 1965, a series of earthquake lights were observed in Japan, prompting scientists to investigate their cause. Since then, numerous reports have emerged from around the world, with earthquake lights being linked to seismic events in countries like Mexico, the United States, and Italy. One of the most famous occurrences of earthquake lights was observed in 2009 in the L'Aquila earthquake in Italy. Witnesses reported seeing blue lights in the sky just before the earthquake struck. The lights were described as appearing above the epicenter of the earthquake, and some people even claimed they could feel a subtle electrical charge in the air. This phenomenon prompted further research into the potential connection between earthquake lights and seismic activity. Despite these widespread reports, scientists still struggle to explain the exact cause of earthquake lights. Several theories have been proposed, but none have been universally accepted. One possibility is that the lights are caused by the ionization of gases in the atmosphere due to the release of energy during an earthquake. When stress is applied to certain materials in the Earth's crust, it can cause the release of electrical energy, which may ionize the surrounding air, leading to the appearance of lights. Another theory suggests that earthquake lights may be caused by piezoelectric effects, which occur when certain materials, such as quartz crystals, are subjected to pressure. When these materials are compressed or deformed during an earthquake, they may generate an electrical charge that can manifest as light. This theory is supported by the fact that many earthquakes occur in areas with significant deposits of quartz, which are known to exhibit piezoelectric properties. Some researchers have also suggested that earthquake lights could be related to the release of radon gas, a radioactive gas that is known to accumulate in the Earth's crust. Radon gas can be released during seismic activity, and it has been linked to the phenomenon of earthquake lights. However, this theory remains speculative, as there is no conclusive evidence to support it. despite the lack of a definitive explanation, earthquake lights continue to captivate the public and scientific community alike. Their mysterious nature has led many to believe that they are a sign of impending disaster, while others view them as a fascinating natural occurrence that highlights the unknown aspects of our planet. Whether caused by ionization, piezoelectric effects, or something else entirely, the earthquake light phenomenon remains an enigma that continues to intrigue and mystify. The fact that these lights are often witnessed right before or during an earthquake adds to the intrigue. Some speculate that the appearance of earthquake lights might be a signal, warning of impending seismic activity. While there is no scientific proof to support this idea, the connection between the two events has led to various theories and much speculation. Spontaneous fire phenomenon. The spontaneous fire phenomenon, also known as spontaneous human combustion, SHC, is one of the most eerie and perplexing occurrences in the realm of unexplained phenomena. It involves a person or object suddenly catching fire without any apparent external source of ignition. What makes this phenomenon so chilling is that it happens seemingly out of nowhere, with no obvious explanation for how or why the fire starts. The concept of spontaneous combustion has fascinated people for centuries, leaving both the public and scientists puzzled by its occurrence. The phenomenon is most commonly associated with people, though it can also involve objects or buildings. In cases of human combustion, the person in question is often found severely burned or even reduced to ashes, while the surrounding environment remains largely unaffected, with little or no damage to furniture or nearby objects. This has led to theories that the body may somehow ignite internally, with no external spark or fire source. The first recorded instance of spontaneous human combustion dates back to the 16th century, though reports of similar occurrences have been documented throughout history. The phenomenon gained widespread attention in the 18th century after a series of unexplained deaths were attributed to SHC. In these cases, victims were found to have burned to death, but there was no indication of an external fire source. Their bodies appeared to have ignited from within, and the surrounding area remained untouched, leading to speculation about the mysterious cause of the flames. Over time, various theories have been proposed to explain spontaneous combustion. One theory suggests that it could be caused by the human body's high fat content. According to this hypothesis, the body's fat could act as a kind of fuel, igniting through a chemical reaction or the body's internal heat. This theory is supported by the fact that many of the individuals who have allegedly experienced SHC were elderly or obese, which would increase the likelihood of having a higher fat content. Another popular theory is the wick effect, which suggests that a person's clothing could act like a wick in a candle, allowing the fire to spread and sustain itself. This would explain why the body might burn intensely while surrounding objects remain unharmed. In this scenario, the person's body fat serves as the fuel, while their clothing acts as the wick, guiding the flames upwards and consuming the body in the process. Some researchers have suggested that SHC could be caused by an electrical malfunction in the body, similar to how a capacitor might discharge energy suddenly. This theory proposes that the human body could act as a capacitor, storing electrical energy until it is released, causing an internal combustion of sorts. However, this theory remains largely speculative, as there is little evidence to support it. Other, more unconventional theories suggest that spontaneous human combustion might be linked to paranormal or supernatural forces. Some believe that the phenomenon could be the result of possession, intense emotions, or even curses. In these cases, the person may be consumed by an unseen, otherworldly force that causes them to catch fire. Despite the many theories, no one has been able to definitively explain spontaneous human combustion. Modern scientists and investigators have attempted to debunk the phenomenon, but each case remains shrouded in mystery. Some of the cases have been attributed to natural causes, such as a cigarette or faulty wiring, but the unexplainable nature of the phenomenon continues to haunt the field of science. What makes SHC particularly difficult to study is the rarity of the phenomenon. It is not something that occurs regularly, and there are no clear patterns to indicate what causes it. Many cases are dismissed as being the result of faulty forensic investigation, with the initial evidence being misinterpreted. Others simply remain unsolved, leaving the scientific community and the general public to wonder if spontaneous combustion could truly be possible. One of the most famous and well-documented cases of spontaneous human combustion occurred in 1951, when a woman named Mary Reeser was found burned to death in her home in Florida. Her body had been almost completely consumed by the flames, while the surrounding room was largely intact. The only trace of the fire's source was a small area of the rug near her body, which had been scorched. Despite an investigation, the cause of the fire could not be determined, and the case was classified as spontaneous human combustion. To this day, SHC remains one of the most perplexing and unnerving phenomena in the realm of unexplained events. While some people believe that the body's internal chemistry or external factors like clothing and furniture could provide an explanation, others remain convinced that there is something more mysterious at play. Whether it's a scientific anomaly or something supernatural, the phenomenon continues to captivate and intrigue those who are curious about the unknown. Silent Sky Boom Phenomenon. The silent sky boom phenomenon is an eerie and unexplained auditory mystery that has captured the curiosity of people worldwide. This phenomenon involves loud, thunderous noises emanating from the sky, with no visible source or accompanying event. The sounds are often described as deep, rumbling booms, similar to distant thunder or a sonic boom, yet there are no clouds or storms to explain them. What makes these occurrences even more perplexing is that they seem to occur without any visible or physical explanation, adding to their mysterious allure. First reported in the early 2000s, the silent sky boom has been documented in various regions across the globe, including the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and parts of Europe. In some instances, the booms have been so loud and powerful that they shake windows, rattle buildings, and even cause vibrations in the ground. Despite these intense sounds, no visible explosion or disturbance has ever been observed, leading to widespread speculation about their origin. One widely suggested explanation is a meteorological phenomenon known as skyquakes. This rare event occurs when certain atmospheric conditions, such as temperature inversions or unusual wind patterns, cause sound waves to behave in unexpected ways. These conditions can create a strange acoustic effect that amplifies the sound of distant thunder, making it seem as though the noise is coming from the sky itself, even though no storm is present. Skyquakes can sometimes produce very loud, low-frequency sounds that resemble the rumble of distant thunder or explosions. Another theory points to human activity, specifically the possibility of sonic booms caused by supersonic military aircraft or experimental aerospace technology. However, these theories are usually unconfirmed, and the phenomenon has been reported in areas where such aircraft activity would be unlikely. This inconsistency adds to the mystery, as no definitive evidence has been found linking the phenomenon to jet-powered explosions. More speculative explanations suggest that the silent sky boom could have extraterrestrial origins. Some claim that UFOs or alien technology might be responsible for these strange sounds, adding a supernatural layer to the mystery. While there is no concrete evidence to support this theory, it has become an intriguing possibility for those looking to explain the unexplainable. Additionally, some researchers argue that the phenomenon may be a psychological or environmental anomaly. In these cases, the sounds could be misinterpreted by the human brain, which might amplify natural environmental noises, such as distant thunder or atmospheric pressure changes, leading to the perception of loud booms. While this theory could explain some instances, it does not account for the intensity and consistency of the phenomenon across various locations and conditions. Despite these various theories, no explanation has definitively solved the silent sky boom mystery. The phenomenon remains one of the most puzzling and captivating mysteries of our time, keeping both scientific minds and casual observers guessing about its true nature. As reports continue to emerge from around the world, the search for answers persists, ensuring that the skies remain an unexplained and unsettling place for those who hear the enigmatic booms. Disappearing Lake Phenomenon. The disappearing lake phenomenon is one of the most baffling and fascinating natural mysteries that has intrigued scientists and the public alike for centuries. This phenomenon occurs when a lake or body of water mysteriously vanishes, sometimes overnight, leaving behind only dry land, a muddy basin, or, in some cases, no trace at all. The cause behind this phenomenon is still not fully understood, but it presents a striking and eerie spectacle, often leading to speculation about strange or supernatural occurrences. One of the most famous examples of this phenomenon is the disappearance of Lake Havasu in the United States, which has reportedly dried up several times throughout history due to natural causes. Similarly, the disappearance of lakes in remote areas of the world, like the high-altitude lakes in the Andes or the Tibetan Plateau, has baffled scientists for years. While the occurrence of disappearing lakes is rare, these events can happen in various environments, ranging from mountainous regions to desert landscapes, often where conditions seem perfect for a permanent water source. One common explanation for the disappearing lake phenomenon is the natural occurrence of underground fissures or sinkholes. In such cases, the water from the lake may find its way into subterranean channels and disappear into underground aquifers or caves. This often happens during heavy rains or when seismic activity shifts the landscape, causing cracks in the Earth's surface that allow water to flow underground. Over time, the lake may drain completely, leaving behind a dry, barren expanse. Another possible cause is the process of evaporation. In arid regions, where temperatures can rise dramatically during the day, large bodies of water may experience significant evaporation, especially if there is little to no water inflow to replenish the supply. When the rate of evaporation surpasses the rate at which water is replaced, it can result in the dramatic loss of water from a lake. This scenario is more common in desert climates, where evaporation rates are high, and water sources are limited. A more rare, but particularly eerie, explanation involves the possibility of a massive underground drainage system or aquifer. Some researchers suggest that certain lakes, particularly those located in tectonically active regions, may be connected to vast underground reservoirs that can suddenly become drained through a natural event like an earthquake. This could explain why the disappearance of these lakes seems so sudden and without warning. There are also cases where human activity plays a role in the vanishing of lakes. For example, over-extraction of water for agriculture or industrial purposes can deplete lakes. Similarly, changes to the landscape due to damming or construction of drainage systems can redirect the flow of water away from a lake, leading it to dry up. In some instances, this can happen gradually, making it difficult for people to notice until the lake has significantly shrunk or disappeared altogether. The mysteriousness of the disappearing lake phenomenon is compounded by its rare occurrence, which only adds to its allure. The idea that water can suddenly vanish from a landscape, leaving only the haunting remnants of what once was, sparks both awe and concern. While scientists continue to investigate these cases, the true causes of disappearing lakes remain elusive, with some speculating that we may not have uncovered all the natural forces at play just yet. In the end, this phenomenon raises important questions about the power of nature, the hidden dynamics of our planet, and the ever-present mystery of the world beneath the surface. Bloop sound phenomenon. The bloop sound phenomenon is one of the most mysterious and chilling sonic events ever recorded in the history of oceanography. Discovered in 1997 by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, this bizarre underwater sound was detected by hydrophones, which are underwater microphones used to monitor marine life and ocean conditions. The bloop was an incredibly loud, low-frequency sound that could be heard over a vast distance, and its origin remains a source of deep intrigue and speculation to this day. The sound itself was described as a series of low, rhythmic booms that intensified and then faded, resembling the noise of something massive moving beneath the ocean's surface. What made the bloop so perplexing is that it had a unique pattern, unlike anything previously detected in the ocean, and the sound's intensity was unlike most natural underwater phenomena. Its powerful frequency spanned over 1,000 miles, making it one of the loudest sounds ever recorded underwater. For a long time, scientists were baffled by the bloop, as they couldn't find any known natural or man-made source capable of producing such an extraordinary sound. One early hypothesis was that the noise could have been caused by the movements of an icequake, or a large chunk of ice breaking off from an Antarctic glacier, creating a shockwave in the water. However, this theory didn't completely explain the distinctive properties of the sound, especially its repetitive, rhythmic pattern. The mystery deepened when the possibility was suggested that the sound could be related to a creature, possibly even a giant unknown marine animal. Some speculated that it could be the cry of a colossal sea creature, much larger than anything currently known to science. This theory was fueled by popular references to the Bloop in connection with the legendary sea monster, the Kraken, or even the mythical creatures of the deep that have long been a part of maritime folklore. As the years passed, more sophisticated technology and research into the Bloop sound led to the discovery that it was most likely the result of an ice rupture in the Antarctic. In 2008, NOAA scientists reported that the sound bore a strong resemblance to noises created by the fracturing of ice under pressure, supporting the icequake theory. However, even with this theory, questions remained about the true cause of the sound and whether the conditions surrounding its occurrence were entirely natural. Despite the more scientific explanations, the Bloop continues to stir imaginations worldwide. Many still believe that its origins might lie in the depths of the ocean, where there are vast, unexplored regions that remain a mystery to us. The idea that something unknown could be creating such a powerful and enigmatic sound challenges our understanding of the deep sea and fuels speculation about the creatures that might inhabit its darkest corners. The Bloop serves as a reminder of how little we truly know about the world beneath the ocean's surface, and the possibility that there are still many secrets waiting to be uncovered in the vast, unexplored depths of the planet's oceans. While science has pointed to an ice-related origin, the lingering mystery of the Bloop continues to spark curiosity and even a sense of awe for the unknown. It remains a fascinating example of how the natural world can both baffle and inspire, with an air of intrigue that invites speculation, fear, and wonder. Reverse waterfall phenomenon. The reverse waterfall phenomenon is one of nature's most visually striking and mystifying events, where waterfalls seem to flow upward, defying the natural order of gravity. These unusual occurrences have fascinated both scientists and spectators for centuries, as they appear to challenge our fundamental understanding of fluid dynamics and the laws of physics. The phenomenon typically occurs under very specific environmental conditions. One of the most well-known instances of the reverse waterfall is seen in certain parts of the world during powerful storms or extreme weather events. The key factor behind this optical illusion is the presence of strong, gusty winds that blow in the opposite direction of the waterfall's natural flow. As the wind force becomes sufficiently strong, it can push the water upwards, momentarily reversing the direction of the waterfall. The water appears to cascade upward, creating the illusion of a reverse waterfall. One famous example of this phenomenon occurs at the famous Victoria Falls in Africa, though not every instance results in the dramatic reversal of the entire waterfall. The phenomenon is most commonly observed when high winds from the surrounding environment meet the force of the falling water, creating an effect that appears as if the water is being pulled upward. However, there's more to the reverse waterfall than just strong winds. The shape and topography of the surrounding landscape can also play a crucial role in amplifying the phenomenon. Waterfalls that are located in steep valleys or narrow canyons can see more dramatic reversals because the gusts of wind are funneled into the space, increasing their speed and force. In addition to weather conditions, some researchers believe that the reverse waterfall could be influenced by atmospheric pressure changes or unique water flow patterns that occur only during certain times of year. The combination of all these factors can create a rare and surreal event, which sometimes leads to a mysterious spectacle that looks like something out of a science fiction movie. Despite its natural explanation, the reverse waterfall phenomenon has been the subject of numerous myths and legends throughout history. In some cultures, it is thought to be a supernatural event, with stories linking it to the actions of deities or spirits. In other instances, it has been associated with impending doom or a harbinger of significant changes to come, though these interpretations are, of course, more rooted in myth than in scientific fact. While the reverse waterfall phenomenon is not something that happens every day, its occurrences continue to inspire awe and wonder. The sight of water flowing upwards in defiance of gravity captures the imagination, symbolizing the unpredictable and often mysterious forces of nature. The phenomenon serves as a reminder of how powerful the natural world can be, and how even the most familiar elements of our environment, like waterfalls, can still hold secrets and surprises beyond our understanding. In a world where human understanding of the planet's forces continues to grow, phenomena like the reverse waterfall keep us humble, always reminding us of the wonders and mysteries that nature can still provide. Whether a rare optical illusion or a rare climatic event, the reverse waterfall continues to be a beautiful and perplexing part of the natural world. Eternal flame phenomenon. The eternal flame phenomenon is a remarkable and often mystifying natural occurrence where fire continues to burn for an extended period of time, seemingly without the usual need for fuel. This phenomenon is so rare and intriguing that it has captivated the imagination of scientists, environmentalists, and philosophers alike, often sparking debates about its origin, nature, and implications. One of the most famous examples of this phenomenon is the Eternal Flame Falls, in New York, USA, where a small waterfall is accompanied by a natural gas seep that keeps a small flame lit throughout the year. The flame, which is positioned just near the base of the waterfall, is fueled by methane gas that seeps up from the earth, creating a continuous fire that is almost impossible to extinguish under normal circumstances. The occurrence of this natural fire is a result of geological processes deep beneath the Earth's surface. Methane gas, a potent greenhouse gas, is often produced by the decay of organic material and can accumulate in pockets beneath the Earth. In some places, this methane escapes through fissures or cracks in the Earth's crust, reaching the surface. If the right conditions align, the methane can combust spontaneously or be lit by a small spark, creating a fire that burns for extended periods, even without the usual kindling or fuel source that most fires require. In addition to the methane seep that sustains the flame at places like Eternal Flame Falls, other instances of the eternal flame phenomenon can be attributed to natural gas reservoirs or volcanic activity. For example, in certain volcanic regions, gas vents can expel flammable gases, which when ignited, produce a constant flame. In some cases, these flames have been known to burn for thousands of years, driven by deep-seated geological forces. Though the phenomenon is often associated with natural gas, there are more fantastical stories surrounding the eternal flame. Ancient cultures and civilizations have interpreted the constant burning flame as a symbol of the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Some have seen it as the representation of God's power, believing that such a fire could not be extinguished by human means, adding to its mystique and divine associations. These flames, though natural in origin, were often thought to be gifts or signs from the gods. From a scientific standpoint, the eternal flame is an incredible reminder of the Earth's untapped potential for energy and the way certain natural forces work in the most unexpected ways. Scientists have been studying these phenomena to learn more about subterranean gas deposits, natural combustion, and the effects of methane on the environment. However, the eternal flame phenomenon is not without its environmental concerns. The extraction and burning of methane, particularly when it occurs without control or regulation, can contribute to the climate crisis. Methane is a greenhouse gas that is far more potent than carbon dioxide in terms of its heat-trapping ability. As a result, the burning of methane, even from a natural seep, can add to global warming and environmental degradation if not carefully managed. Despite these concerns, the eternal flame continues to be a source of awe and fascination for people around the world. Whether it's the beautiful and eerie glow of Eternal Flame Falls or the mystic stories told by ancient peoples about eternal fires that never die, the phenomenon remains an enduring symbol of nature's power and mystery. In many ways, the eternal flame serves as a metaphor for life itself, burning brightly, enduring over time, and impossible to completely understand or control. From a philosophical perspective, the eternal flame reminds us of the paradoxes inherent in life and nature. The fire, while seemingly a force of destruction, is also a symbol of endurance and continuity, burning indefinitely as a reminder of the power of natural processes. As long as the flame continues to burn, it offers both beauty and a deeper understanding of the forces that govern our world. Magnetic Hill Phenomenon. The magnetic hill phenomenon is a fascinating and perplexing natural occurrence where vehicles, seemingly defying gravity, appear to roll uphill when left in neutral. This optical illusion, which has puzzled both locals and scientists for centuries, creates an eerie and inexplicable visual effect that captivates those who experience it firsthand. Magnetic Hill, often located in remote or rural areas, has become the subject of mystery, intrigue, and extensive investigation. One of the most famous examples of this phenomenon occurs in the town of Moncton, Canada, where a specific hill creates the illusion that objects are rolling uphill. When vehicles are placed in neutral, they appear to slowly roll uphill at a steady pace, seemingly without any external force or intervention. While this phenomenon is often attributed to some kind of magnetic force or anomaly, the real cause is far more subtle and tied to the landscape's unique features. At its core, the magnetic hill effect is an optical illusion created by the surrounding geography. The landscape's slope and surrounding topography create an altered perspective, making it appear as though the incline is a decline, causing people to perceive the direction of gravity incorrectly. The magnetic effect, though widely believed to be the cause, is not scientifically proven, and there is no conclusive evidence linking the phenomenon to any real magnetic force. The phenomenon is enhanced by the environment around the hill, which can lead the mind to misinterpret the surroundings. The straight, narrow road and surrounding terrain can create a distorted visual field, making it seem as if the vehicles are defying gravity when, in reality, they are simply rolling along a very gradual slope. The unique setting plays a key role in the illusion, as it tricks the mind into thinking the vehicles are moving uphill against all odds. Despite the clear scientific explanation behind the phenomenon, the magnetic or mysterious aspect of the hill remains a subject of popular folklore. Many believe that the hill is home to unexplained magnetic forces or perhaps even a supernatural presence. Various myths have emerged about the origin of the hill, some suggesting that it is the site of ancient rituals or celestial events, while others propose that magnetic anomalies in the area cause the unusual phenomenon. These stories have been passed down for generations, adding to the hill's mystique and attracting curious visitors from around the world. Though the scientific explanation behind the magnetic hill phenomenon is well documented, the allure of the unexplained still lingers in the minds of those who encounter it. Visitors often report feeling a sense of wonder and excitement when they witness the optical illusion firsthand, marveling at the strange and unexplainable nature of the experience. For some, the sensation of seeing a vehicle seemingly defy the laws of physics is enough to leave a lasting impression. In a broader context, the magnetic hill phenomenon serves as a reminder of how human perception can be easily influenced by environmental factors. The optical illusions created by unique landscapes and natural features reveal the limits of our senses, showing how easily our brains can be fooled by what we see and feel. It also speaks to the enduring human fascination with the unknown and the mysteries of the natural world. While Magnetic Hill continues to captivate visitors and inspire local legends, it also serves as a testament to the power of perception and the ways in which the natural world can create bewildering and unforgettable experiences. The Magnetic Hill phenomenon, with its seemingly supernatural qualities, stands as a reminder that not everything we experience can be easily explained by science alone. Some mysteries, no matter how simple or complex, will always leave us wondering. Brinicle Phenomenon. In the hidden, frozen corners of our planet, far beneath the polar ice caps, lies a world that few have seen and even fewer understand. It's a world of silence, where life moves slowly, if at all, and temperatures plunge well below anything most creatures could survive. But even here, something darker stirs, a phenomenon so strange and deadly that it feels like it belongs in a science fiction film. It's called the Brinicle, or as it's chillingly nicknamed, the icy finger of death. The Brinicle is a rare natural event that occurs beneath sea ice in extremely cold regions like Antarctica and the Arctic. Unlike a typical icicle, which forms as water drips and freezes from above, a Brinicle forms underwater, and it grows downward, like a frozen dagger stabbing into the sea. It begins at the surface, where sea ice is forming. But sea ice isn't made from pure freshwater. As seawater freezes, it leaves behind salty brine, water with a much higher concentration of salt. This brine doesn't freeze easily, and as it's squeezed out of the forming ice, it becomes colder and denser than the surrounding ocean water. Gravity pulls this dense, frigid brine downward, like a silent stream of liquid death. As it sinks, it meets the warmer water below, still freezing by human standards, but warmer than the brine. The supercooled brine rapidly freezes the water it touches, creating a sheath of ice around itself. Slowly, a hollow, icy tube begins to grow around the brine as it falls, forming what we now call a brinicle. This icy tube continues to grow downward until it eventually reaches the seafloor. And this is where things turn deadly. When the brine inside the brinicle touches the ocean floor, it spreads outward and instantly freezes anything in its path. Slow-moving bottom dwellers like starfish, sea cucumbers, and sea urchins don't stand a chance. They're trapped by the ice, frozen in place, unable to escape as the cold surrounds them. Brinicles are incredibly rare and hard to observe. The conditions have to be just right: extremely cold air temperatures, calm seas, stable sea ice, and salt-rich water. For decades, scientists believed in the phenomenon based on theory and indirect evidence, but no one had actually seen one in the wild, until 2011. That year, a BBC film crew captured one on camera while filming the documentary Frozen Planet. Using time-lapse footage and underwater cameras, they recorded a brinicle as it descended through the water like a ghostly tentacle, ultimately reaching the ocean floor and freezing starfish in real time. The images stunned the scientific community and viewers alike. What they saw was mesmerizing: a slow, graceful, almost artistic movement of freezing death, a rare meeting point between beauty and destruction. It looked like a scene from another world, but behind the haunting beauty is raw, simple science. It's a lesson in how extreme conditions create extreme phenomena, where physics, chemistry, and nature collide to produce something otherworldly. The brinicle is a perfect example of how alien our own planet can feel in the places we rarely visit. It's a reminder that Earth still holds secrets, deep below the surface, hidden beneath the ice. So next time you think of the cold as something passive or still, remember the brinicle. Under the ice, it's always moving, silently, slowly, and lethally. Red Sprites Phenomenon, high above the rumble of thunderstorms, in the fragile layers between Earth and space, something otherworldly dances for a heartbeat, unseen by most, unexplained by many. These aren't UFOs, or digital glitches in the sky, they are red sprites, perhaps the strangest lightning-related phenomenon we've ever discovered. For centuries, people claimed to see red flashes in the sky, towering bursts of light that vanished instantly. Pilots during World War II described fiery red tendrils shooting upwards above clouds, reports dismissed as hallucinations or stress-induced mirages. But in 1989, a team of scientists finally captured one on camera. What they recorded was more than bizarre. It was proof that a hidden atmospheric world existed just above us, silent, towering, and largely invisible. Sprites are massive, stretching up to 30 miles in height, reaching from the tops of thunderclouds into the edge of space. They're not like the jagged streaks of ordinary lightning. Instead, they appear as glowing red jellyfish, tree-like structures, or vertical columns with long tendrils. They form above storms, not within them, and last for only milliseconds. Blink, and you'll miss them, but here's what makes them truly unsettling: their ghost-like behavior. Red sprites are so brief and faint that most people never see them with the naked eye. They're usually detected using ultra-sensitive cameras or night vision equipment. It's as if nature has tucked them away, only allowing glimpses to those who really know where to look. How do they happen? Technically, they're triggered by intense lightning strikes hitting the ground, especially positive cloud-to-ground strikes, which are more rare and powerful than the negative kind. These strikes create electrical disturbances in the upper atmosphere, and the sky discharges back, in silence and in red. But here's where things get strange: red sprites don't act like lightning. They don't follow the same rules. Some appear to split mid-air, while others seem to shimmer in multiple places at once. There's still no complete theory that explains them, especially when it comes to their unusual shapes and complex internal structures. Some researchers describe their movement as organic, almost like a living creature briefly coming into form and vanishing, and red sprites aren't alone. They're part of a family of high-altitude light phenomena that includes blue jets, elves, trolls, and gigantic jets, each stranger than the last. Together, they create a hidden layer of electromagnetic chaos above storms, a secret electrical jungle we barely understand. But the weirdest part? These things have been happening forever. For all of human history, entire systems of luminous events were playing out above our heads, completely invisible to us. The sky was sending signals, and no one was watching. The red sprite phenomenon challenges our assumptions about how weather works, how lightning behaves, and what we consider natural. These flashes don't just bend our understanding of physics, they mock it. They exist in a space between Earth and the cosmos, operating in a zone we still barely monitor, hinting that our planet's most basic systems still hold deep, uncharted mysteries. In ancient cultures, people spoke of gods in the sky, of signs from above. They might not have been entirely wrong. Because even now, in the most advanced scientific age, we still can't fully explain why red sprites form the way they do, or what hidden variables influence them. They appear like phantoms, leave no sound, and vanish without a trace. But for those who catch them, they're a reminder: the world above us is stranger than we know, and perhaps always has been.